Welcome to our Trump briefing show, folks. Today, we're diving into some hot topics. First up, the US has teamed up with Panama in a $14 million program that's already deported nearly 2,000 migrants, helping to ease the dangerous Darien Gap crossing and curb migration flows. Quite the move on border policies. Then, in Gaza, tensions are skyrocketing as Israeli airstrikes have claimed at least 92 lives, including civilians. Israel is gearing up for a more intense military push, and the conflict shows no signs of slowing down amid a worsening humanitarian crisis. It's a tense, heartbreaking situation. And last but not least, Elise Stefanik is eyeing a big political move. She's considering running for governor of New York after her bid for UN ambassador fell through. With a potential showdown against Mike Lawler, the race is heating up, and her future in politics might just be on the line. Please continue to watch for more detailed updates. The Toronto Star reports that the United States has allocated approximately $14 million to Panama to facilitate the deportation of over 2,000 migrants who lack legal status in Panama. This initiative, which involves charter flights and airline tickets, was originally negotiated under the Biden administration but is being highlighted by the Trump administration as a contributing factor to the significant reduction in migration through the perilous Darien Gap. The deal has seen a recent surge in deportations, with 81 migrants from countries like Cameroon, Nepal, and Vietnam being flown out in a single recent flight. The flow of migrants through the dense jungle connecting Panama and Colombia, which peaked in 2021 with over 500,000 crossings, has now nearly halted due to recent shifts in U.S. border policies, effectively curbing the influx of migrants heading toward the United States. The Toronto Star also details the ongoing brutal conflict in Gaza, where Israeli airstrikes have resulted in the deaths of at least 92 civilians, including women, children, and a local journalist. As Israel prepares to escalate its military campaign, the violence has intensified with strikes targeting crowded markets and refugee shelters, causing immense destruction and loss of life. The Israeli military plans to seize and hold Gaza, forcibly displace Palestinians, and control aid distribution, with tens of thousands of reserve soldiers being mobilized. The war, now entering its 20th month, has already claimed over 52,000 lives, according to Palestinian health officials, with Israel blaming Hamas for operating within civilian infrastructure. The recent strikes have devastated densely populated areas, and the conflict's escalation threatens to deepen the humanitarian crisis, especially as Israel considers expanding its territorial control amidst ongoing debates over hostage figures and potential military occupation. Yahoo US discusses political developments involving Elise Stefanik, who is considering her next move after losing her bid to become President Trump's UN ambassador. With her sights set on either consolidating her influence in the House GOP or running for governor of New York, Stefanik is gaining strategic advantages, including early polling leads in a potential gubernatorial race and encouragement from Trump allies. Although she has repaired her relationship with House Speaker Mike Johnson and plans to meet with Trump, her decision remains uncertain amid intra-party rivalries, notably with Representative Mike Lawler, who is also eyeing a gubernatorial run. Polls suggest Stefanik has a substantial lead in a GOP primary, and her rising profile is attracting attention even across party lines. However, her potential candidacy could spark a contentious primary, complicating the Republican landscape in New York, as party leaders and colleagues weigh the best path forward to maximize electoral success. The Toronto Star vividly depicts the first face-to-face encounter between Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump, highlighting Carney's diplomatic finesse. Despite Trump's provocative suggestion that Canada could join the U.S. as its 51st state, Carney responded with a deft mix of patience, firmness, and humor, firmly asserting that Canadian sovereignty is non-negotiable. The article portrays Carney's calm demeanor amid Trump's bluster about trade, military, and diplomatic issues, emphasizing his strategic restraint and ability to maintain civility in a tense, unpredictable environment. The meeting is characterized as a cautious step in what Carney calls the end of the beginning of the Canada-US relationship, with no concrete resolutions but an acknowledgement of ongoing differences and the need for careful diplomacy. Yahoo US offers an insightful look into the Department of Education's stance on Native history amid the political pushback against diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, and critical race theory, CRT. The federal agency explicitly states that Native Hawaiian, American Indian, and Alaska Native histories will be exempt from the new restrictions, recognizing their distinct legal and political status. This decision responds to Native organizations' appeals for tribal-led education that respects their sovereignty, emphasizing the importance of local control and tribal consultation. While the department affirms continued support for Native-focused programs, it also underscores parental rights and reduces bureaucratic hurdles, reflecting ongoing tensions between federal policies aimed at restricting DEI initiatives and the desire to preserve culturally grounded Native education. CBC reports Biden's sharp rebuke of Trump's outlandish proposals, such as annexing Canada or acquiring Greenland, framing them as emblematic of Trump's reckless approach to diplomacy. Biden criticizes these remarks as unbecoming of American leadership, contrasting Trump's rhetoric with America's core values of democracy and opportunity. The article contextualizes Biden's comments within his broader concern about Trump's influence, recalling his previous praise for Canada as a reliable partner, and highlighting Trump's persistent disparagement of Canadian trade and politics. Biden's remarks underscore a fundamental disagreement over international decorum and the nature of American diplomacy, with Biden portraying Trump's threats as dangerous and unpresidential, further deepening the divide between the two leaders' visions for the U.S.'s role on the global stage. The Toronto Star reports that Ontario's health efforts to combat measles are under scrutiny as cases surge to their highest weekly count since the outbreak began, with 223 new infections last week alone. Despite this alarming increase, Ontario's Health Minister Sylvia Jones asserts that the province's vaccination strategy is effective, emphasizing ongoing campaigns and new clinics to boost immunization rates. She highlights that over 97% protection can be achieved with 2 doses of the vaccine and points to a $300 million investment in primary care clinics as a proactive measure. Critics, however, argue that the government has been too passive, especially compared to the COVID-19 pandemic response, and express concern over the pandemic-induced backlog in childhood vaccinations, which has contributed to outbreaks, particularly in southwestern Ontario. Meanwhile, opposition figures accuse the government of neglecting public health and failing to counter anti-vaccine misinformation, raising fears that complacency could prolong the crisis. The Toronto Star also details the decline in Canadian snowbirds traveling to the U.S., compounded by new visa registration rules and political tensions. A bipartisan bill introduced in Congress aims to extend the stay of Canadians aged 50 and over in the U.S. from 182 to 240 days annually, a move welcomed by the Canadian Snowbird Association as beneficial for the economy. However, recent restrictions, including mandatory online registration and increased border scrutiny, have discouraged travel, with border crossings dropping by 17% in March. Many seniors are now selling their U.S. properties or canceling trips, citing feelings of betrayal and uncertainty amid a broader trade war, a weak dollar, and political rhetoric suggesting a possible 51st state scenario. Advocates see the bill as a step toward revitalizing cross-border tourism, but the current climate of political and logistical hurdles has dampened the enthusiasm for U.S. visits among Canadian retirees. Deutsche Welle covers Friedrich Merz's inauguration as Germany's new chancellor, emphasizing his commitment to prioritize foreign policy. Merz has already embarked on diplomatic visits to France and Poland, aiming to revive the historically significant Weimar Triangle and strengthen relations with these neighbors. He criticizes the neglect of Franco-German cooperation under his predecessor, Olaf Scholz, and seeks to address long-standing issues, though challenges remain due to diverging national interests, especially in trade and energy policy. Merz's approach also involves recalibrating Germany's stance on transatlantic relations, advocating for greater European independence from the U.S., particularly in light of uncertainties surrounding NATO commitments under President Trump. With a focus on maintaining strong EU unity amid rising populism and geopolitical tensions, Merz faces the complex task of balancing domestic stability with an assertive foreign policy, including delicate positions on Ukraine aid, Israel, and relations with Russia. His leadership marks a pivotal shift as Germany navigates a turbulent international landscape, striving to restore influence and stability within Europe and beyond. CNN reports that Voice of America, VOA, a once-respected U.S.-funded international broadcaster, has been effectively dismantled under President Donald Trump's administration, with its networks currently offline and staff reduced, sparking fears among journalists that it might be repurposed into a propaganda tool aligned with Trump's agenda. Carrie Lake, a MAGA loyalist appointed to oversee VOA, revealed that OAN, One America News, a far-right, conspiracy-promoting outlet notorious for spreading Trump's 2020 election lies and embroiled in multiple defamation lawsuits, will provide free newsfeed services to VOA and other U.S.-funded broadcasters, signaling a troubling shift toward turning VOA into the voice of Trump. This move, originating from the Office of Cuba Broadcasting, aims to repurpose content that aligns with Trump's narrative, potentially replacing professional journalism with partisan propaganda, despite objections from VOA journalists who emphasize their commitment to reliable reporting. OAN, launched in 2013 and once a prominent proponent of election misinformation, has seen its influence decline after losing distribution deals but remains a symbol of far-right media extremism. The plan to integrate OAN content into VOA suggests a strategic effort to weaken the network's independence, with the ultimate goal of maintaining a skeletal version of VOA that satisfies legal scrutiny while serving as a mouthpiece for Trump's political interests. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Got a book so big and bright, open it and take a flight. Learn about the stars and see, everything is here for me. Flip the pages one by one, knowledge under the sun. From dinosaurs to galaxies, a world of endless mysteries. Encyclopedia, yay! Facts and fun all day. From A to Z, let's see. Curious minds run free. Jump into the pages deep. Secrets that you want to keep. Time will fly and you will find magic lies in every line. Animals and history, science full of mystery. Gotta read and gotta know. Watch our minds all start to grow. Encyclopedia, yay! Facts and fun all day. From A to Z, let's see. Curious minds run free, yeah. Jump into the pages deep. Secrets that you want to keep. Time will fly and you will find magic lies in every line. To run free line, every line's run free. Animals and history, science full of mystery.